bit about run and hide. It's all very upfront and easy to understand, okay? And it's time to understand it. And that's the point I want to make. Because about 5 years ago, I was thinking to myself, I'm a pensioner. That sort of world has passed me by. There's no way I'm going to catch up with that. It's all very new and it's happening, and I don't understand any of it. And then I attended a course. I was just fascinated. And I ended up basically spending thousands of pounds educating myself about cryptocurrencies. And by the way, while I wouldn't recommend spending thousands, do educate yourself where you can. And it'll save you money in the long run. But one of the things I did, so I went all the way up to one end of the crypto world where I was trading 1 minute charts with leverage. I mean, just crazy stuff. It's like driving a Formula One car with no brakes at top speed. Unbelievable. Make lots of money 1 second, lose it all the next. And it was a bit of adrenaline. But I realized this was not my lifestyle, not anymore. Maybe 30, 40 years ago, I would have done that. But now, no. And at the same time, I could so see the potential of what is coming. And in the next 5 years, I can almost guarantee with what I've learned that we are all of us going to be required to have some sort of understanding if we're not going to get left behind. And everything that I was doing was really sophisticated. And I didn't know, I worried about my family. I worried about people I knew and cared about just not knowing about this stuff. And then I discovered what I'm going to show you tonight. And what I'm going to show you tonight is for everybody. Anybody can do what I'm going to show you tonight. And what I love about it is that it gives you several options. The first one is to dip your toe in the water and just start to get used to the environment, to the language, to the mechanisms, moving money around, how you do bank in that world, and getting yourself sort of up to speed so you can decide for yourself how much more you really want to know. And I just love it. I love it that I can share it with people who have very little to play with, and I can share it with people who have a great deal of money to share it with as well. And for those of you who are on here who may have ambitions for an alternative career, lots of residual income, there's a huge opportunity here for you as well, although I'm only going to touch on that this evening. But the rest is all about just introducing you to this very simple and friendly world of 9M. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen. Now, let me do that. And I go to there. Right. So I'm hoping I've got a cursor here, a pointer.
I can see the screen.
You can see it. Great, great. Okay, so we're off. So welcome to 9M. I'm going to talk to you this evening about something very special. And it's special for the reasons I've just given. So it's accessible to anyone. I promise you that anyone on this call can access this relatively easily. I mean, I could teach this to a small child. And at the same time, if there's something much bigger that you're interested in terms of making very serious money, there is opportunities there as well. But I'm just going to start by telling you that 9M is a place on the internet. It exists on the blockchain. It uses blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies. Now, you don't need to understand those things right now. You just need to know that this is the country of blockchain, and then cryptocurrency are the currencies that we can use in that country. We can't use pounds, shillings, and pence because everything is electronic. So that's about as much mystery as there is to these things. Okay, it's just like visiting a foreign country and using the currency locally that will allow you to do everything in that environment. And this particular opportunity is, as I say, is on the blockchain, and it's helping users achieve financial gains using artificial intelligence. And so we're right in at the very beginning of something here. I got introduced to 9M in May, and we're we were pre-launch. It's only just launching around the globe now. Now, what that does is it gives us this amazing opportunity to jump in before most other people haven't even heard about it. Before we go any further, I am going to go through these disclaimers. And I do request you really take these on board so that there's no confusion. This information that I'm going to share with you is not financial advice. Anything I say is not financial advice. I might share my opinion and I might share what other people around me do and things that we do as a team, but it's not advice in any way. The content and materials are for educational purposes only, and it is important to remember that 9M is not regulated by any financial authority. It's a decentralized environment. There are no safeguards. If the company fails, then you lose your money. At the same time, if it does incredibly well, then you benefit from all the advantages of it being decentralized. So that's the balance that you need to make. Always do your own research and seek independent financial advice. And do remember that investments can go down as well as up. And most importantly, and this applies to anywhere where you're about to invest your money, never risk more than you can afford to lose. Okay, so let's jump in. So I'm going to say a little bit about the company. As I said, it is very new. So this information changes all the time. We're updating things all the time as the company is starting to grow. But I do want to give you a little bit of background as to how they came into existence in the first place and how they developed a system where the AI, artificial intelligence is what I'm talking about, knows how to grow your money. It knows. It doesn't have to be told. It's been trained. It now learns for itself how to make winning trades in the decentralized financial markets. Okay. So what happened was in about 2021, imagine you've got cryptocurrencies, which I'm sure most of you do now. You know the word, even if you're not sure what it's all about. You'll have heard of Bitcoin and Ethereum and things like that. Those haven't even been around for 20 years yet. Okay, so we're right at the very beginning of that. And then we've also got artificial intelligence, which is now becoming more and more mainstream. But a few years ago, it was still in its infancy. It was embryonic, if you like. And a group of very enterprising people and very intelligent people decided to look and see if they could come up with a way to increase the opportunities that were available in the crypto markets and the AI environment as well. And there were a group of executives from Goldman Sachs took care of the financial side of things, and they got together with a group of scientists who are working in the world of artificial intelligence, and they got together some top quantitative engineers, and these are people who have the skills to develop the algorithms that actually, if you like, to build the brain and the brain patterns of this particular, what is in fact a robot, if you like, a robot, a trading robot. They got together a few years ago, cloistered themselves away, built this thing, tested it, back tested it, gave it all sorts of challenges, trained it. It was like a small child. That's how I think of it. It was like a small child, and it needed to learn what it was required to do. And now it knows. And it's still learning all the time. It's improving its abilities all the time. And it was launched in this country in May. We've been launching it around Europe and around the rest of the globe since then. And yeah, this is a robot that operates 24/7. It never sleeps. It makes its own decisions about trading and risk control, and it integrates all the very, very newest technology available to do its job on our behalf. There are companies, big financial companies around the world, which have their own proprietary software, whatever, for achieving the results they get. They're not going to share that with you and me. They might share that with mega investors with millions to spend. And obviously internally, what 9M offers us is we get that level of sophisticated technology, and you and I, with our, the money we have, just living an ordinary life, no special circumstances, we can start to engage in this world and realize the same rewards that people with a lot of money in the past have only had access to. Okay, so I've mentioned cryptocurrencies, I've mentioned artificial intelligence. We are at a sort of pivotal point in in I don't know, in the world, I suppose, in the sort of the way our society is developing and what we can do and what we will be able to do in the future. And we're bringing together something that's been around for slightly less than 20 years, which is cryptocurrency, together with artificial intelligence, which has just exploded recently. And we bring those together and we cause it's two disruptive trends coming together, and it's a bit of an earthquake, really. So, people are worrying about losing their jobs because of AI, and no, people are still learning to trust Bitcoin and Ethereum and these things. And at the same time, if you're willing to take a step into the future right now, you can get such an advantage for being here right at the very beginning of these two trends coming together. So I said, here's Novamind. It doesn't look like this, by the way. It's not some cute little toy. It is a massively powerful set of, well, it's information that's spread around the globe. It's held on NVIDIA chips in many, many different data centers, and it does its job globally. And but it is incredibly powerful. It's the 9M's proprietary AI engine, and it's called Novamind. It's the first AI-led asset management system. In other words, we don't tell it what to do anymore. It just goes ahead and does it. It looks for opportunities and just takes them. And it does it very, very fast. So how do 9M make money with Novamind? Well, first of all, it advises and acts efficiently, and it can analyze over 45 financial markets in real time. I have heard a number over 100 mentioned, but the one I'm sure of is at least 45. But if you don't realize this, I know the world is spinning and people have their days and nights, and where it might be night here right now, on the other side of the planet, trading is happening, financial stuff is happening, and the Novamind can track it all the time in real time, what's happening anywhere on the globe. And it processes 3,000 news reports per second. Now, can you imagine, in this very sort of, we're going through a period of upheaval everywhere. And the slightest thing, a president making some announcement can have markets crash in seconds. And what Novamind can do is it can anticipate some things as far as 72 hours ahead, but it can also react very, very fast to changing situations. And it can make decisions in just 0.8 milliseconds. That's 100,000 times faster than you or I can. And that is crucial to its success. So it can get in and out very, very fast. Not only that, but it also spreads its risk over 1,000 crypto assets at the moment. And it's actually looking to trade in many other asset classes, such as stocks, indices, and possibly foreign exchange as well. I mean, that's coming in the future in the next couple of years. So I've been very fortunate to have met this gentleman I'm showing you here. I've met him twice now. This is a really hands-on CEO. So I've dabbled in lots of different crypto projects in the past, and the leadership is a bit murky. There's some company somewhere and lots of very intelligent people doing stuff behind the scenes. Chris Chang is a CEO. He's a down-to-earth guy. When he knew we were wanting to see this launched in Europe and the UK, he flew over from Canada to meet us, to see our team. We've been involved in something else, and we were looking to move to something newer and better. And he flew from California for one day. Well, he may have stayed longer, but for our day, to meet us and let us know what his plans for 9M were. And this guy really listens. He makes notes. If you ask him something, he writes down so he can go back and discuss it with his team. And I know that I really trust that guy. So where's he come from? Well, his first success came with LED manufacturing. So we've got this new form of lighting, which is just very novel to the general public. But he saw this incredible opportunity to leap into military sectors and the US government and save them vast amounts of money. I mean, up to that point, light bulbs used to break and had to be replaced. With LED lighting, That just doesn't happen. These things can work for tens of thousands of hours without being replaced. And he had contracts that allowed him to actually float this particular company on the NASDAQ after just a few years. He has other interests. He loves his whiskey. He invests in whiskey. And the last time I saw him, he was wandering around the dinner we had with a big bottle of whiskey, handing it out to everybody to taste. Just lovely. And the other thing he's passionate about is investing in post-production in Hollywood for films. And I was looking through some of the things that he had up on a screen, things he'd been involved in. I mean, they're all the ones you know, the MC Universe. We've got, I think, Mission Impossible, Transformers, Star Wars, Star Trek, you name it. All the post-production work which involves AI. He is interested in having his finger in that pie, and those are his other interests. So this is a really down-to-earth and guy who, if you come to our meetings around Europe, you will meet him, I'm sure. Okay, I'm just going to mention this for those of you who know a little bit about cryptocurrencies and are coming to see this for the first time. And INM is about to launch a card, a Visa card. For those of you who already know a little bit about crypto, you know that our biggest issue is not cryptocurrencies, it's moving money from pounds, shillings, pence, euros, dollars, whatever, into the world of cryptocurrencies and back again. We still have blocks and waiting times and resistance to us doing that because the banks are not very happy that we're moving money away from them. But they're about to launch this, which is very exciting and should make money movements much easier. Okay, so I've told you a little bit about the company. Why would you be interested in 9M? So this is a place where you can invest your money as little as $100, which is currently about 75 pounds. And you can invest your money and get the sort of returns that are normally only available to people with a lot of money investing huge amounts in big international projects and big, just stuff that we never get to hear about. We hear about a bank making masses of profits, but who knows what they're doing with the money really. But here, this is you investing in 9M and getting daily rewards. So let's just have a look how you can do that. Okay. So you invest in a fund. It's no different really from investing in an ISA. If you go to a big organization that offers various ISAs, they will offer you different funds that do different things. Now, with 9M, it's very new. New funds are coming down the pipe. But right now, and they're keeping it really simple to get so that people can learn to use the system, we have a strategy fund. And in order to start participating, this is the one that you start with. So what is the strategy fund? And by the way, this is 9M AI, 9M artificial intelligence. Okay, this is a fund that we say is a dual asset, no loss mining fund that earns you USDM. Now, let me unpack that for you. So, dual asset. This is a fund that requires you to put at least 70% of what you put into the fund needs to be in USDT. What is USDT? It's dollars, basically. It's digital dollars that are linked to the American dollar. 1 USDT equals $1. Simple as that. So if you were going to invest $1,000, 700 would have to be in USDT. Now it's not, when I say have to, it's not some sort of a problem. That's just what the requirement is. However, the other 30% can be any one of several major cryptocurrencies. Now, it could also be USDT because that is a major crypto, but it could also be, for those of you who may already hold a little bit of crypto somewhere in a little wallet, hoping it's all going to go through the roof, it could be Bitcoin, it could be Ethereum, it could be Solana, XRP, any one of the ones that you think is sexy and you've been holding on to it, thinking, fingers crossed, it's going to double in value in the next year. Well, guess what? While you're waiting for that to happen, you could be putting it into this fund and it will earn you something every single day. So that's the dual asset side of it. No loss means that at the end of your staking period, you get it all back. You get the $700 back as $700. If you've chosen to put in 30% of another cryptocurrency, you'll get back the same number of coins or tokens, And if in the meantime they've gone up in value, then they're now worth more than when you put them in. Let's say that you put in Bitcoin and it doubles in the year. You get back the same number of Bitcoin and you now have the value is twice as much. This is so great because meanwhile, the rest is just sitting there doing nothing. Of course, the value can go down, but remember, so would all of the rest of the coins that you've been holding on to. So it's not as if you'd have lost anything by putting it in here. If anything, you do have the opportunity to also earn this daily income from your stake. The reward token is USDM. Now, what that is another stable coin that belongs in this system. You can't trade it. You won't find it anywhere. Don't go looking for it. It exists here solely as the form of payment that we receive. And when we receive it, we can change it into other things, or we can hold it for another purpose, which I'll explain in a minute. Okay, so I've talked a lot about the fund. Show us the money. Okay, so here we have the terms for the length of time that you can actually invest the money. And here we have the gross daily yield. Now, before you may be looking at that thinking, no, she's got the decimal point in the wrong place. No, these are genuine figures. So the terms are 7 days. So you can put your money in for 7 days, and then at the end, it'll come back to you, plus anything you've earned in the meantime. 30 days, 90, 180, and 360 days. The 7 day is really for you to just try it out if you want to. But I can tell you that within a very short period of time, everyone I know gravitates to these much longer contracts simply because the return is so much better. So let's have a look, at the daily yield. 1% if you put it in for 7 days, 1% a day. So if you put $1,000 in for 7 days, your gross daily yield will be $10 a day, every single day. And that $10 comes out and it goes into your wallet, your platform wallet, and it is yours. You can remove it from the platform, take it out, spend it if you wish. You can move it to another wallet, invest in some other cryptocurrency somewhere else. You can do whatever you like with it. Okay, that is what you will earn every single day. The stake is the stake. It has the same value for the whole period. Your rewards are separate and you can take them out. So for 30 days, the daily yield is a bit higher. We go up to 360 days, and by now it's risen to 1.8%. Now, I told you this is the gross daily yield. You do not get to keep all of that yourself. What you get to keep is 45% of the gross daily yield. So what does that look like? What that means is on the 7-day term, you will earn that money in the system will earn 1% a day, and you get to keep 45% of the daily yield. So in this case, if it was $1,000, you would get to keep $4.50 every single day. I'll tell you what happens to the rest in a minute. Don't worry. I will account for it. And then, as you can see, you keep 45% of the daily yield. If you go up to 360 days, that's 0.81% a day, every single day for as long as the contract lasts, which is 360 days. Let's have a look at this. Just a little note to self here for me. The minimum you can put into this is $100. That's $75. And yeah, so it's accessible really to anyone. So what does it look like in terms of what you're actually earning? So here we can see the terms, 7 to 360 days. I'm going to just take the top one and then the smallest and the longest. So for 7 days, if you put in $1,000, for example, you would earn 0.45% a day of the $1,000, which is $4.50. At the end of a week, you will have earned $31.50. And you get back your $1,000. So you walk away with your $1,031.50. Just like to point out that this is effectively over 3%. You'll have earned over 3% in a week. Now, if you can show me anywhere, not in the digital world, in the non-digital world, where you can get that sort of return, please do let me know. I would love to know about it. This is just the most extraordinary rate of return. And at the same time, it's not it's not unheard of in the world of cryptocurrencies. We're not talking about something way out on the skinny branches. This is a normal sort of return that you can expect to get. 360 days, you put in $1,000 and now you're earning 0.81% a day, which is $8.1 every single day. When you look at this, after 360 days, which is almost a year, you will have almost trebled your original stake. So you've got your stake plus 3 times your stake, and you'll walk away with 300%. It's a 300% increase in the value of your investment. Not bad. Now, is there anything else I need to say about this? No. So we're going to move on. Right. Just to recap, it's a dual asset, no loss mining, and you earn USDM. On maturity, you get everything back, the same number of coins, same number of USDT, same number of crypto. And obviously, if that major crypto has changed in value, then that is also reflected in the value of what you get back. The USDM you earn is pegged to the dollar. The USDT, which in turn is pegged to the dollar, the US dollar. You can redeem it at any time. You can change the USDM into USDT. But here's what you must remember. Once you've changed it to USDT, you can never change it back. You can't buy it. You can't sell it. You can only earn it from the strategy fund. And I'll show you why that is important in a minute. And you will pay, when you change your money from USDM, where it's sitting in your wallet, you'll change it into whatever, USDT, and you will be charged a 5% withdrawal fee to do that. That is an industry standard. It's the cost of trading, and yeah, that's just normal for any platform. You want to be very suspicious of any platform that doesn't appear to be charging you anything. They're not going to last very long. Okay, so we've talked about USDM. What can you do with that? Well, USDM is a ticket to the stable fund. So I'm going to show you something now which will look familiar. It's not very different from what we've just looked at. We're looking at dual asset, no loss mining in the stable fund. And what you earn is a coin called 9MC. And this is the native coin of this particular company, 9MC, okay? The asset allocation is the same, 70-30. However, this time, there's no choice. 70% must be USDT and 30% must be USDM. Now, as I said, the only place you can find that is by actually investing in the strategy fund. So if you want to come into the fund, you do have to hold on to some of it to come into this fund. And you're earning this new coin. Now, what's special about 9MC is it's not stable. So it's not going to hold its value. It's going to be going up and down with market forces, people wanting to buy it, people wanting to sell it. Currently, it's not available outside 9M, but it was, when it was issued back in May, it was worth just under $1. And it's now, today, worth at least $1.70. So in May, June, July, August, September, about 5 months, it's increased 70% in value. And it's going up really nicely, steadily. It's not one of these ones that's going like this, partly because, of course, nobody's trading it. But the day it becomes available to trade, you will be holding an asset. And as the company grows and increases in value, so will this coin, and it will become an asset, something you can sell to people. And in the future, it will also give you certain rights inside the platform that you will be able to. It'll give you voting rights and things like that. I'm not going. It's too complicated to address here, but trust me, it is something for the future, and it's really worth looking at. Okay, so why would you choose this fund, though, apart from the fact you are going to earn this very special coin, which currently nobody can buy? You have to earn it. Well, again, looks very similar. We've got rid of the 7-day term. Trust me, nobody who's got this far is messing around with 7 days. So we've got 30 to 90, 180, 360 days. And the yield, the gross yield, has gone up by 0.1% across the board. So as you can see, this was 1.2 and this was 1.8, and now it's slightly more. And the difference that makes is that, again, you get 45% of that. So on the 30-day stake, you'll be getting 0.58%. And on the 360 days, you'll get 0.85%. Okay, now, what's next? We'll just recap. Stable fund, dual asset, no loss mining, and you know 9MC. Upon maturity, you can redeem the original value of your assets. You'll get back all your USDT and you'll get all your USDM back with no loss. And you will also, remember, have that 5% withdrawal fee. Mustn't forget that. So I said I would tell you what happens to the other 55% of the money that your money has been earning when it's being traded by Novamind. So we know that 45% is what you're going to get to keep and take away with you. The management fee is 5%, and that's spent on all the stuff you can imagine. It would be on staffing, additional development, NVIDIA chips, so that the machine can get faster and faster and cope with more and more business and do all the other things that 9M have planned. And yeah, that's where that 5% goes, any buildings and overheads they have. However, there's this thing called the platform dividend. 50% of the money is left. Now, what happens to that? Well, you may be interested to know that you can actually start earning some of that. This is another place where you can start to earn money with 9M. So let's just remind ourselves of the fund structure, fixed investment cycles, 7 to 360 days, depending on which fund you're in. Your returns are calculated and paid every 24 hours without fail, and you can take them out. The VIP, now the other 50% goes into what we call the VIP rewards. So 50% of the platform profits go to a VIP pool, and you can earn this by, as I'll explain very briefly in a minute. Yeah, so but this is another level of doing business with Now. So let's just have a look. Earning VIP rewards is entirely optional. So you can just be a simple investor with all the things that I've just shown you. And we've got some clever ways of making a lot of money just by investing. And I'll show you that just at the end. But here, this is for you if you, I don't know, let's imagine that you're so excited about what you're doing, you happen to mention this to someone you care about. Or you might look at your family and think, I could set up one of these accounts for my kids. Trust me, you set up an account like this for a young person, and within a few years, they'll be able to buy their own house. This is really an incredible way to give young people their financial freedom with a tiny initial investment. And, but this part is optional. Now, so you share it. If you happen to share it and somebody else comes along, let's say you've spoken to me about it, and I said, God, that sounds fascinating. How do I get to find out more? And you say, come to a presentation. That's always the thing. Don't try and explain this. Invite them to a presentation. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And I say to you, I want to join. I want to put in $1,000. So how that works is that if I put in $1,000, I will be in a level below you. You're level 1. And you will earn a referral income from my investment. So you don't earn anything based on the investment itself. You earn on what my investment earns. So if I've put in $1,000, I put it in for 360 days, I'm going to be earning $8.10 every day. And you will get 81 cents every day from that investment. Rain or shine. If I up my staking, you will automatically get 10% of everything and anything that my stakes are earning for as long as we're both in the business. And you can invite as many people as you like to join you on your level 1. I share it with my sister, and she loves it. She loves the idea. She wants to come in with $1,000. So you help me bring her in and we get all of that set up. And if you can't do it, somebody else will help you. And now she's earning $8.10 every day. I'm earning 81 cents and you are earning half of that. So just over 4 cents a day. And again, for as long as you are investing and as long as she and I are investing, you're going to earn all of that. If I drop out, you're still going to earn what she earns. Okay, of what she earns. So, but that's it. There are just these two levels. They're referral. If they definitely have the quality of a referral, thank you from the company, and they last a lifetime. So that's the referral side. However, the company knows that this is just going to keep happening. So, you know, my sister is going to mention it to her friends and they're going to mention it to their friends and so on and so forth. And this, it's a bit like dropping a stone in a pond. The ripples are going to go out and more people are going to get involved. And the company recognizes that those people wouldn't be in 9M if you hadn't spoken to somebody and shared. So what they do is they keep track of all the staking underneath you. And when it reaches certain levels, you become entitled to a percentage of the VIP fund. Now, there are some other conditions. They're not onerous. They're sort of a natural fallout of as you grow, as the number of people underneath you grows and the amount of staking goes up. But the actual rewards start as soon as any staking below you reaches $3,000 or above, at which point, I do remind you there are some conditions as well, but you can become entitled to 20% of whatever is staked underneath you is earning. So in this case, you've got $3,000. It'll be earning about $24 a day, and you will get 20% of that every day. Okay, so that's VIP 1, and it kicks in really low. Trust me, 3,000 in this business is nothing. VIP 2 kicks in at $10,000 worth of staking underneath you, and as you can see, you're now entitled to a larger part of whatever this staking is earning, and so on. We go down to 3, 4, and by the level 4, $100,000 worth of staking, and you become entitled to 50% of what this is earning. Bear in mind, meanwhile, underneath you, all those people who are underneath you and you bought in, they'll be whipping up through these levels as well. You get the difference between their level and your level. So, you know, it's not as if there's a limitless amount of money. It all has to be shared out appropriately. If you're interested in looking at this, the rewards, this is where huge money is available. And you should definitely speak to us about this if you would like to consider moving into this as a business. This is, you know, and it's very, very simple. We've got a couple of people on this call at the moment who've got over $1 million worth of staking underneath them already after just 5 months. So you can, this, by the way, these levels go up. I've stopped at level 4. It's level 9, and then there are 3 special levels above that. But there are people getting there. And if you think you can't, this will never happen to you, trust me, I had that thought. It happened to me. I just woke up one morning and there it was, bish, bash, bosh. Because after 2 levels, you lose track. It's just happening. Nothing you can do to stop it. Right. Okay, so let's just recap. There are ways, these are the ways you can earn with 9M. Everyone can earn just by becoming an investor, between 0.45% and 0.81% a day on the strategy fund, and a little bit more, as you can see, 0.58% to 0.85% in the stable fund. Excuse me 1 minute. Now, what's optional, but sort of starts to happen by accident, is you can earn referral rewards. That's the 10% on anyone on your level 1 and 5% on anyone on your level 2. And then that's it. That's the referral reward stuff. However, as the percentage override of the earnings of your entire team volume starts to, as the volume beneath you goes up, excuse me, to almost, and believe me, it can be unlimited. Imagine this. I told you we were in early. the last time I heard the numbers, which was a week ago, and I'm sure it's gone up since then, there were 167,000 people in the world in 9M. Imagine what that number is going to be in just a few months' time. It could be 10 times that number. You bring someone in now, you invite someone to have a look at it, they're interested, you can't really sell this. They are going to love it or they're not going to love it. And before you know it, you've got this massive, massive growth underneath you. So it's very, very exciting. The VIP rewards, as I say, you get a percentage of the staking underneath you, less whatever anybody else is earning because of their VIP level. Right. Okay. So how do you get started? Well, what you would do is you go to the person who invited you, and from them you get a link. And it will, that if you click on that link, it will open the app on your phone or on your computer, and you'll get this screen where they'll ask you to create a username. Actually, it's usually an email address and then a password. The only thing about the password, no special characters, numbers, letters, caps, that's all they need. And you put that in twice. You check that you have the referral code down here. It's an 8-digit code, letters and numbers. And you register, and that's it. The app is free. You can go register now. Nothing will happen until you fund it. So then your next question is, well, how much am I going to put in? Now, this is up to you. You can put in as little as $100. You can put in, currently, as far as I know, it's an unlimited number. There was somebody, gosh, the last meeting I went, we were, some of us were over in Frankfurt recently, and there was a gentleman from Thailand who had put $500,000 worth of staking in. So there's some really big fish, and you can play in the same game that they are playing and get the same percentage rewards. Imagine that. How lucky are we? So how much? We've got, remember, dual asset, 70% must be in USDT, and the 30% can be any major cryptocurrency. And then for how long? Well, you've got the 7-day term, which is for just testing it, 30 days, 90 days, 180, or 360 days. And that's it. That's basically it. Just remember, don't go and remortgage the house. Okay, seriously. People can get very, very silly. You just want to look at, if this disappeared tomorrow, am I going to be in trouble? And then pick some money, some play money, if you like, and have fun with it. Because trust me, whatever you put in here is going to make a lot more money than anything else you've got anywhere else. So we have, it didn't take long. Imagine you've got your money sitting, you get your rewards every day. Are we just going to sit there for a year twiddling our thumbs, waiting for that chicken to come home? No. We decided to become a little bit more, hold on, I need to find the right thing before I start getting excited. We realized that if you are clever and you have put in an amount of money where you say, do you know what, this is an investment and I would like to see it grow as much as I possibly can. Because you don't forget, if, you know, your original investment, if it's small, then you can afford to lose it. It's a bit like going to Las Vegas. You put your money on the roulette table, except it just keeps paying you. Okay, that's what this is like. So I want you to imagine that you've only got $100 to stake. Okay, so if we put $100 in here, you can see it's currently worth £75. I've got somebody in my, I don't know who that is, but any minute now they may start messing with my table. I should have taken them out. Right. Okay. So we're going to put money in, and let's say we're going to put it in today, which is the 7th of the 10th, and we're going to be earning 0.81%. You can change all these if you want to, but let's assume you are going to go for 360 days. And what you're going to do now is watch your money grow. So you start with $100. You're earning 0.81% a day, which is 81 cents a day. Now, remember, there's going to be a 5% exchange fee, but what we're looking for is how long is it going to take us to earn $100, which is the minimum fee. So we've earned, after 131 days, we've earned $106, which will allow us, after you've paid the 5% fee, no kidding, you'll now have at least $100, in this case $101, that you can buy a new stake. And you now have 2 stakes running. That's this number here, $200, same return. And of course, now you're earning twice as much every single day. So the time it takes you to earn the next $100 is halved, and so on and so forth. So as you can see, we can now buy a third stake, $300. We're earning 3 times what we were earning when we started. And now we're down to 44 days before we can stake again. And if you look here, I always like to look at this, by the time you've got $500 staked, you'll be restaking again within a month. And your money will grow and grow and grow. So how fast will it grow? Well, as you can see, it's quite slow at the beginning. And starting now, it'd be 17th of February before we can stake again. That's a long time, 131 days. But let's imagine that is really all you can do. How long would it take us to generate a residual income of £1,000 every single month? Okay, do you want to know that? Let's have a look. Well, by the 31st of May, 2027, so that's a year and about 2 years out, but not quite 2 years out, you will be, after 51 stakes, you will be earning $1,000. So let's just have a look. If we rush down here, we go 51 stakes, and here we see 31st of May, $1,000. Sorry, £1,000. Gosh, I always get that wrong. £1,000 every single month. So if you stopped ever putting any more money in, you just kept those particular stakes running. Every time they run out, you reinitiate them. And assuming nothing else changes, because we can't guarantee those rates of return aren't going to get tweaked at some point, everything stays the same, you will have a residual income of £1,000 a month. Now, that's the 31st of May, if we make that 2,000, promise you it's not going to be that long. It's only a few more months before you've doubled that. But let's say you're thinking, well, that's so slow. I can't wait that long. And you get a little bit of extra money. You decide maybe not to go down to the pub on a Saturday night and buy a round for 20 people. Okay. So now you've got the magic number, $250, which is, let's have a look what that is. That is £185. And as you can see, all of a sudden now, 53 days before you can stake again. Not very long at all. Okay. But there's something magical about $250. If we look at how long it's going to take for you to be able to earn £10,000 a month, okay, let's just click this, the 11th of October, 2027. So that is 2 years and 2 days. No, sorry, 11th, 4 days from today. You can take $100 and turn it into £10,000 a month. And you've got to remember, at that point, you are going to have 290 stakes working for you. And if we look at 290 stakes, what is that? Sorry, we're going way out now. 290 stakes. Here we go. You tip 10,000 there. You've got $55,747 that you didn't have when you started. Now, you could just let all those contracts come to term, take the money out. You've turned $100 into $55,000 in 2 years. That is the power of compounding. So I hope that you can see so much potential here to play with. And, when you join, we will give you this. You can play with it, decide how much staking you want to have. And, that's that. So that's really what there is to show you. There's not a lot more I can say other than you might want to consider starting to fund yourself, however small the amount. Just put it away and watch it grow with 9M, no question, rather than give it to your bank, where they will give you, if you're incredibly lucky, they might give you a measly 3% a year. Okay. Remember, on our 7-day term, you can earn that in a week. Bear that in mind. Okay, so there's not a lot more to say. I'm just going to now switch off the sharing and say hi to whoever's here. Yes, well, thank you for attending this introduction, this presentation or show, as Tony Kay likes to call it. I hope that I've left you with some understanding of what 9M is all about. Some of you may have lots of questions. That's absolutely fine. Get back to the person who introduced you. And if they can't help you, because they may be quite new, they can refer you and put you in a three-way call. A three-way call in which you can get your questions answered. And that's it, really. We do these presentations every weekday at 8 o'clock. They're with different people. So if you tried to get in on my link again, it's not going to work until, well, I'm actually doing one on Thursday, so it'll work on Thursday. But you need to go back to the person who introduced you, and they will give you the most current link. We also have, when you join, we have training for anyone, a back office training, which is run by Tony Becker, who's still on the call. Tony does this amazing training where he'll show you every little aspect of the back office, how to put money in, how to move it around, how to stake it, how to get it out, how to run more than one account. I mean, this man, there's nothing he doesn't know about how the platform works. And then Tony Kay, who's also just shown us, he's there. He does this call on a Saturday where we bring the team together. Anyone who's interested in learning more about 9M, maybe asking questions about, well, if I did want to turn this into an amazing business, what would that take? I mean, Tony Kay, Tony Becker, they've been in the team building industry for decades, and what they have to share is truly golden. So if that's of interest, then you should come to those meetings. And we have, if you may be sitting here thinking, I love this, but I'm from this country, or the only people I know are from that country. Guess what? This is global. We have, currently, I know that we have a presentation, Swedish, German, I forgot some of that. I think there's one in Tamil. And we're certainly developing others in other European countries. Just ask, and if you love it and you want to become a presenter, then trust me, it's not hard. We give you the slides. You just need to decide what you're going to say about them. Now, there's one other thing which it's very important to mention, because I can't emphasize the value of this highly enough. So at the end of November, the last weekend in November, they will be launching 9M in Spain, in Barcelona. And I checked the ticket costs yesterday, 41 quid for a return ticket. It probably won't be that in a few months' time, because there can be hundreds of us going. But, come to one of these European meetings, and you get to meet the team. You get to meet the trainers. You get to be able to speak to people like Chris Chang and ask your questions, get what you need from them. And it really builds belief, because I know for some of you, I've noticed a couple of questions. It is like, how is this possible? But when you meet these people and you start to understand that world, how it works, really starts to make sense. And once you've put in your own stake and seen it working, it just builds belief every day. And it's one of the most fun things to do. I mean, it's better than any computer game you're going to find. Go in, collect your money. Anyway, I think I'm done. Tony, was there anything else I should have mentioned?
Just to say, I'm doing the back office training on Wednesday.
Okay, thank you.
I'm away, that's why I choose.
Oh, of course, Tony, I forgot. I'm doing and who's doing the presentation tomorrow? Is that Colin?
Should be.
Yeah, okay. So, and I'm back on Thursday, just this week. So last thing, just thank you for being here. Thank you for giving up your Tuesday evening and coming to have a look at us. Please, if the person who invited you isn't on the call, do go back and let them know you watched it. Even if you're not interested, they're probably thinking, God, I wonder how that went. I wonder if they've got any questions. And yeah, get your questions answered. And we look forward to seeing some, if not all of you, in our team and joining us for the future growth of 9M.
Thank you.
That's it, I think. Yes. Right. I'm going to say, I always find it hard to end these calls. I'm just going. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maxine.
Okay. Bye for now. Bye-bye.
Brilliant, Maxine. Cheers.
Yeah,
Bye.
cool. Thank you.
The recording has stopped.